The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, often referred to as HUD, reports that 582,462 people experienced homelessness in the year of 2022. According to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, 61.2 million people ages 12 and over used illicit substances in the past year. The CDC reports 79,000 overdose deaths in 2022 between the months of January and September alone. Homelessness and addiction often occur simultaneously, and unfortunately, many people struggling with both of these are unable to get the help that they need. According to the National Coalition for the Homeless, those who are homeless experience substance use at a higher rate due to the increased stress of being homeless. Many turn to substances as a way to cope. The risk of overdose among the homeless population is 1.8% compared to the 0.3% of those that have stable housing. A combined 68% of homeless persons misuse drugs and alcohol. In 2021, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration reports 46.3 million individuals over the age of 12 meeting DSM-5 criteria for having a substance use disorder, with 94% of them never receiving formal treatment. Recovery housing is a vital post-treatment resource that significantly lowers relapse rates among this population. According to a study done, there are over 17,000 recovery homes that are listed within the United States, with California, Florida, Texas, and New York being the home of 5,000 of them. The state that I live in and work in this field lists that we have 634 of those. I live in Michigan. As a person who tries to assist clients into getting into recovery housing on a very regular basis, I can testify that we are often met with this list being inactive, inaccurate, long wait lists, or just flat out not having these housing options available like described. The NASW supports substance use treatment, harm reduction, and social supports, as well as reducing homelessness. The NASW supports all persons having their basic needs met, which includes stable housing. Persons who enter treatment for substance use disorders often lose their employment, leading them to lose their housing as a result of their inability to pay their rent, while focusing on their rehabilitation. The cost of housing when exiting inpatient can be unattainable for many, leaving supportive housing, transitional housing, and even rental assistance to be their only viable options to secure stable housing. For over 50 years, the world has been battling the war on drugs, and in my opinion, has been failing. Short-term law enforcement interventions are not showing to be effective and risk violation of civil rights. The opioid epidemic continues to take hold of millions of Americans, with 9.2 million persons 12 and older misusing opiates in 2021 and 46.3 million meeting criteria for substance use disorder. Those who struggle with substance use struggle with additional stressors when unable to reside in safe housing, often leading to relapse. Affordable housing comes with long waiting lists, with those who having struggles with substance use disorders or having substance use related evictions, having to wait extended times to be eligible for these resources again. Federal policies continue to protect the discrimination against those who have a history with substance use or are at high risk of substance use by denying them access to assistance, housing, and resources. 211 is a good resource to call to find options in your area. However, they have the same access as many of us providers do, which are met with the concerns that we previously discussed. What's needed? How can we help? HUD housing, landlords, and federal policies need to eliminate the discrimination against persons with an SUD history, making housing more attainable. We need to be able to have more opportunities to connect people experiencing homelessness and substance use disorders with community resources and organizations to assist with securing housing. And additionally, we need less stigma within the employment arena, allowing persons to become employed, upon re-entering the community, which will aid in them taking part in their own housing security. The policy need that is vital to this is we need funding reallocated in every state to aid in the opening of new recovery housing that allows individuals to stay longer than 90 days and are available without a wait list. 90 days is not enough to secure all things, including recovery, stability, housing, and the supports needed to be living in one's own housing option.